Which takes me to another thing I want to touch. I said I want to touch the office of a scribe. The office of a scribe is mirrored by a teacher. Okay? By what? A teacher. If someone in the fivefold is a teacher, when they grow, their kingdom office would be a what?
Scribe.
A scribe. So how do scribes operate? And again, this is where, in the earthly realm, this is where I would get like a lawyer. Why all these things? Because these people are concerned with governing mindsets and belief systems. Very important. Mindsets, belief systems, education systems, which is what I was really touching on earlier. Yeah. So when someone grows in a kingdom office, Luke 20:39 says, "Then some of the scribes answered and said, 'Teacher, you have spoken well.'" But of course, those were scribes according to earthly what? Standards. But when someone is like in that office, kingdom office, they are like gatekeepers of knowledge of God. Gatekeepers, because you have to understand that in the spirit realm, yeah, what you call life, yeah, in the spirit realm it is represented as timeline, a timeline, and these timelines have gates, yeah, and a timeline is like a thread of the events of your life, yeah, that on edge this they are supposed to accomplish this, on edge this they are supposed to what? Accomplish this. This is supposed to be their character that they form into to accomplish this or receive this. You understand what I'm saying? So a scribe does that, and when they do that, yeah, you have to understand, when you go to like now, you don't need to put up the scriptures, but Genesis 2:19-20, yeah, what Adam is doing, yeah, scripturally there, yeah, when he's giving character to animals, yeah, he is acting as a scribe, because a scribe, you have to have also this ability to understand the history and the records of particular beings. You understand? They are keepers of records in heaven, yeah, and they have to have the ability to impart, yeah, that which is seen about that person. So basically, you notice that when the scripture is saying that and these plants came after their own kind, and these animals after their own kind, that means they were prototypes of particular animals that Adam had seen, that God had called them. Like God gave Adam certain education, yeah, and now God comes and tests Adam to see whether he remembers what he saw there. But the impartations there, these guys were now getting education. You understand? A lion comes, yeah, and because I've seen glimpses of this, that's why I'm explaining it this way. Let me not sound so wide. I've seen glimpses of this when Adam is doing it. So like Adam touches a lion, yeah, but the lion's spirit goes with Adam and sees other lions, studies this history in heaven, then character is imparted.
Okay.
You understand? That is a scribe. And these are important things. I'm explaining a few things of these things. So for you to be a good scribe, yeah, and you grow into a scribe, you have to have the ability, yeah, to know the end of a thing from the beginning. You know the scripture, there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. If you don't know endings of things, if God has not shown you endings of things, you see, the scripture says, I've seen the end of all things. Psalmist says that. But of all perfection, yeah. But thy word is exceedingly broader, yeah. So you have to be able to catch those things. Then you can become a good scribe. Okay. Otherwise, you can scribe things that are mixed seed. Okay, because of the fallen nature of what? Of all these things. That's why I had to take you to the end of all these things to see, okay, this theory of plural Adam, singular Adam, which has actually birthed a lot of doctrines that I don't have time to go into. Yeah? But when I take you to the end, yeah, we seem to actually see that even the last Adam is dealing with the sin of one man. Okay? So, it takes away how we understood some of these things, because these were theories. Some of these people, let me explain to you something. Let me show you something. Why I say timeline is important. Genesis 6:8. Some of you see this language, but you don't observe it. You notice among, when you read the book of Enoch, they call Enoch a scribe. Yeah? But Enoch had some unique ability. You notice what Adam did with animals. Yeah? Enoch did with his children.
Yeah.
He could impart names, and the names were prophetic of what was to be.
That's true.
The name of that when the flood comes. You understand?
Yeah.
So he did that. So Noah was a student of what? Of his father. Okay? So you read this thing, and to you it is just cliche. You're trying to use your brain, but it is literal. Yeah? But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. The right question. You know, when you don't ask the right question, you will get the wrong answers. The right question there is, where did he find it? Unless Noah was walking a particular timeline. So this guy could walk a timeline, and he found what?
Grace.
There are people who did things like that. David seemed to know grace even in the Old Testament.
That's true.
Why? They could fall on timelines, and the guy finds grace. You understand? There are people in the Old Testament that knew things that we are believing for. You understand? They could walk timelines. But Enoch was a timeline walker. Okay? That is why Enoch walked with God on a particular timeline until he was no more. Okay? So this guy knew how to live in the what? In the future. So these are the things that are coming back. That you walk a particular timeline, then you come back and bring others. Yeah? When you are strengthened. Yeah? So this is the thing that I'm explaining. And this is the thing. Let me explain a bit here. The ability to receive. Okay? That is one. Receive a timeline. To track it. Okay? To keep records. Then also to keep gates of timelines, because as a scribe can determine who enters into a gate and who is not qualified to. Yeah? To keep those. Yeah? That is the highest form of a teaching office. When someone now grows into that thing, at that level, you can give dreams to men. A man can be there, and you know they are lacking in the thing, and you impart a dream. And that dream can help them, because that dream is important on their timelines. So I am telling you